lag?
I think there's no lag today.
There's no lag today? Okay, brilliant. If there is, please let me know so that I can adjust accordingly. Welcome to today's session on inserting images.
The it's use package, just graphics, right?
Yeah, so it's
GRAPHICS.
just use, yeah, exactly. It's just use package graphics. I'll
Okay.
probably put it in the chat box so that you don't make a typo on the first time.
Is it mandatory to import the package at the start of document?
Yes, it is. So that's how you do it in Python. You can do it later, but then conventionally you put it on top, right? So it's just that. It makes sense to put all your requirements before you start the document. Okay. Also, the ones who have their hands raised can lower them unless you have a doubt you want to ask. I've put the package usage in the chat box, so you can exactly copy paste that in the preamble. Okay. So use package graphics, and then we'll scroll down to here. I have with me two images. One is the logo of Nakshatra. So I don't think I have it here. So what I'm going to do, this is the logo that oh, there's an error in this. That's weird. Never mind. I'm just going to copy it and paste it here. Still an error. Okay. Never mind. So I have the photo in the same folder where I want it to be, which looks like this. Let's see if this runs. Okay, so my LaTeX is working fine. Now we'll start off with inserting images. So if you just want to plainly insert an image without any other fancy stuff, the code is quite simple. It's just a backslash include graphics, and this time it's with an S. Okay. So as the name suggests, you're including a graphic image, hence include graphics. Now it is prompting me with some sort of a code here, so I'm just going to click enter, and we'll see what it means later on. Okay, so I have two brackets here. I have one square brackets which has scale equal to inside of it, and the other is a curly bracket which is empty. All right. Now the scale here, as the name suggests, is to scale your image, sort of like magnify it or diminish it by how much ever you want. Initially, we'll just keep the scale as 1, and then we'll see what happens. The curly brackets is where you specify the name of your photo. All right. So in my case, if I want to insert the logo, it's going to be logo.jpg. Let's see what happens. Does it run? Okay. Now you see the error it says here is that logo JPG not found. Let's go to the folder. It was PNG. This is why knowing what photo format you have is important, right? You cannot mess that up because otherwise LaTeX does not find it, even though it's in the same folder and the name is the same. Now, if I were to put PNG, do I have it? Yes. Now you see this photo is really big, all right? It does not fit into my page if I put the scale as 1. So I'm going to diminish it. I'm going to put it as 0.1 and then let's see what happens. Do we get it? Yes, seems fine. Now I have the Nakshatra logo right where I want it to be. I want all of you to run this, and if you're successful in inserting an image with arbitrary scales, you can scale it however you want it to be. If you're successful in doing just this much, let me know by raising your hands on Teams. I'm going to wait for everyone to raise your hands so that I know you've done this
Excuse
part.
me,
Yep.
what was the thing we were supposed to import in the beginning?
So if you see the chat box, there's something that I've put there, a use package. It's a package called graphics. It's right on top, line number 3.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so I want confirmation from everyone regarding this that they've successfully done it. On overleaf, the code remains the same. So I'm just going to copy that statement, whatever I made. Just going to copy this as well. And, section, inserting images, and then include graphics, scale equal to 0.1. I have a different image here, so I'm going to do that. Overleaf sort of prompts me into what image that is. So that makes it a little easier for me. And I'm compiling it. And okay, it doesn't seem to have worked. Ah, right. The reason it didn't show the image and why it just printed out scale 0.1 in position is because I haven't used the package. Graphics. And now let's run it. Yeah, I have an image there, but it's too small, so I'm going to magnify it. I'm going to put scale as 2. And we get it. Yeah, now it's too big, so I'll have to scale it down a bit, maybe 1. Yeah, I get it. I'll just have to do trial and error to figure out what the best scale for this is. Never mind. Now you see that this scaling is a little messy, right? You know, because it acts on the entire image as if it's a whole thing. It's sort of, uh, like changing the height and width simultaneously at the same time. That becomes a little too tedious for me sometimes. So there is an advantage. I mean, there is something that you can do. So I'm gonna start a new line here. The above image is scaled, uh, but now I'll specify the dimensions separately. Now let's see where this line is printed. See the indentation of it. You see it starts like a new paragraph if I give a line space, but if I do not, what happens to it? It doesn't. So the indentation thing works here as well, and you're free to experiment it out. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna say no indent. I have a little bit of gap in between. Now, every time you run, LaTeX sort of imports and does the whole thing over and over again. So if it's a large image, if it has a lot of graphics in it, it's going to take some time. So you'll have to wait for it sometimes. And for the ones in overleaf, if your internet is good enough, then it's fast enough. Otherwise, there are situations where it takes a lot of time. In that case, what you can do is go to fast draft mode. All right. And you can recompile it, which I think won't give you, yeah, it gives you something like this if you have a lot of stuff to do. Right now it's pretty simple, but that's like a hack that's like a simpler method that I've just told you about. We'll keep it in normal so that we can see what our image looks like on overleaf. You don't have to worry about it now. Okay, coming back to this, instead of scaling, now what I'm going to do is it's still logo.png, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this scale. I'm going to specify the height and the width separately. So I'm going to say height equal to, let's say 4 centimeters and width equal to 6 centimeters. So it's like a rectangle. Does it work? Yes, it does. Now you see, I have not just, I haven't exactly scaled it per se, but then I have forced the image to be of these dimensions. I have forced it to be a height 4 and width 6 centimeters. Now these units are again changeable. You can put them as 4 meters and 6 meters, but then that's just absurd. So you don't have to worry about doing that unless you're too enthusiastic about seeing what happens. It'll just go out of the page like it did initially. Right, so that's that. Height and width, since these are the only 2 dimensions that you can mess around with, that's all you have. So you have 2 options for your images. You can either scale it or you can specify the height and width explicitly. Right, so if I were to do the same thing on overleaf here, because this image was too big, I'm going to the order doesn't matter. So I'm going to put width here first, width to be 6 centimeters and height to be 4 centimeters, and I'm going to run it. You see, it has forced my image to be of that particular dimension, right? So I want all of you to get done with this and then give me a hands up if you're done. And if you have any issues or questions, you are free to unmute and ask while I have a sip of water.
Is there any way to automatically scale the image?
Automatically, how? Like, adjust it accordingly?
According to a document type like for A4, so automatic.
Yes, so not precisely that, but there is a way you do that. But for that will have to call in something else, not just with this. It's not going to work out with just this single line of code. It's not going to work just with include graphics. You'll have to do a little more drama for that, which is the next thing that we'll be doing.
Okay.
And why we do that also has another reason for it. All right. So is there anyone who has issues with just this part of it, with just include graphics?
I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
So my image was actually shot in portrait mode, but it automatically was inserted in a landscape mode. Can I change it in any way?
Can you share your screen and sort of show what the original image was and how it's inserted?
Oh, okay, yeah. 1 minute. Just a second.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, it's hanging.
Or why don't you just send the image over on the chat box and I can see
I
that.
got it actually.
Oh, cool. You got it? I mean, is it fine now?
Yeah. Okay. No. Not that's not fine. I got how
Ah,
the like my
okay.
laptop worked. Fine. Okay. So this is the image. Can you all see?
One second. Still loading. Okay, that's the image. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is what I got.
One second. Okay. So it's basically rotated if you notice.
Yeah. So can I get it back in the portrait mode or not?
Yes, you can. So seeing that it's been rotated by exactly 90 degrees, you can specify the angle of rotation,
I'll
which
stop
is,
sharing.
yeah, you can stop sharing. So the angle of rotation and something in the chat box. Yes, exactly. Moinit, you're correct. We specify the text width and you can also specify the page width if you want. Um, and that's how you can do it. So we'll get to that right away. One sec, I think my screen share is not working for a reason. Give me a second. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can one of you just let me know if it's fine?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
seeing.
Okay, perfect. So Moinit on the chat box has given us a solution, for how to auto scale the image, uh, and you're free to try it out right away. We'll move on, and now you see that this image, when I scaled it down to, when I sort of gave a fixed height and width for it, it by default is on the left hand side of the page. It's more or less like, I mean, it looks as if LaTeX is just considering that to be another paragraph, but instead of text, you have an image, and that's why it's starting from the left. The top one looks like it's centered, but then it's just too big for us to notice. But then when you compare the left hand side of both the images, they are the same place, which means they are starting from left indent, more or less, right? So in order to get rid of that, in order for me to get my image in the center, and if I'm also interested to add a caption to it, like we did with equations, we're gonna begin something, and in this case, it's called a figure. All right. So we're going to begin something called a figure, and this will help me, you know, uh, vary the parameters that I wish to do. So here as well, like Moinif has put in the chat box, you can specify the text width and the paper width. You can do that over here, but we'll get to that a little later. All right. Now, like I said, I wanted my image to be in the center. So the command for that is centering. All right, so it's a backslash centering, which ensures that my image, whatever I'm about to insert, will be in the center. And the next line of code is going to be the same, include graphics. I'm gonna, so for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna copy the top one, right? And let's run it. Let's see what do we get here. Okay, so I have got my image to be in the center of the page, but then it's gone above my section. Whereas I defined, I specified my image to be inside this particular section called inserting images, but LaTeX has put it above my section. That doesn't make sense, right? Because I want my image to be inside my section. So for that you use positioning of the entire figure that you do. All right. This centering is for everything that is inside this section, inside this orange line. But then when you want to specify the position of the entire figure in this case, you put a square bracket here, and then I put an H. Let's see what the H stands for later. Let's see if this is rectified. My issue is there's nothing above the section, so it seems to have worked. And now it is in the center of the page and inside this section. So it seems to have worked. What is this H? What is this something, a letter that I've put in square brackets? Any guesses? What can the H stand for possibly?
Here,
Sorry?
at this position, H stand for here. I mean, wherever we are sitting.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So H here, um, yeah, H stands for here. Exactly what it, the first letter of that is what it is. So it tells LaTeX ki start a figure right here. That's what it means. So I have put the stop image, which is this one, with height 4 and width 6, but then it started on left. But then at the very next line, I'm telling LaTeX ki begin a figure right here. So that's what it's done right here. And then I say centering, so it's moved it to the center. Moved what to the center? It's this particular image called logo.png. And what are the dimensions of it? It's 4 centimeter by 6 centimeters. That's what it's done. And then it's ended the figure. So we're done with that. That's all there is to this one. Now, are there other options instead of H? Yes, there are. So what I'm going to do is I have another image for the exact same purpose.
What happens if you just don't put a H?
If you don't put a H, what happens is your image is on top of your section, like on top of the page by default.
Okay. Okay.
Right? And that's not what I wanted it.
Yeah.
That's not where I wanted it to be. So I am telling LaTeX, put the image right where I want it to be. Stop acting so smart and put it here. So that's what it's doing. All right. There are this thing in the square bracket is the positioning of your figure per se. All right. Now there are something called sub figures as well, but I will not be getting into that as of now because of the time constraints that we have. But even for them, I'll show you a demo later on. Even for them, you specify a particular position in terms of the text width or the paper width. All right. But I'll show you a demo later on, but I will not be teaching that in much detail. So let's move on. And what was I gonna do? Yeah. So I'm just gonna put another figure here, and I'm gonna say LaTeX. I'm gonna tell LaTeX it's right here, and then I want it in the center, and the image is going to be scaled by 1.2 times, and it's this time going to be a new image called position.png. Oh, it's too big, probably 0.9, still too big, 0.7. No, maybe not. I think I'll just specify the width and the height separately. So the width and the height, you're limited by your type of paper that you've used, right? In my case here, you see the document class I've used in A4 paper. So I think the horizontal of A4 paper is like what, 20 centimeters or something. I think, I'm not sure. Whatever it is. So I'm going to specify the width to be 10 centimeters and the height to be 7 centimeters. And let's see what happens now. It's too small and sort of cramped up, so I'm going to increase this to 14 centimeters. And let's see now. Yeah, it's readable, right? It's readable, so it's fine. Now you see LaTeX has by default pushed it to the next page because there is no space here. And there's nothing you can do about that unless you structure your paper well and see where you want to put your images. So for now, I'm going to neglect that fact. And these are the practice questions I gave you yesterday, so nothing of a suspense over there. So yeah, these are the different positions that you can see. I'm going to zoom in for you. And the structure, zoom in. Yeah, so this is what we used, H, which means here. T puts it on the top of the page like we saw when we did not put an H. So let's see what T does. It's okay, maybe not for this one I put an H, but for this one I'll put a T. And you see that it has come to the top of the page, which is the same thing as not putting anything here, right? Why does it come in handy? I mean, why do we need a top when we cannot just put anything? It depends on the author and it depends on how your paper is structured and where you want your images to be. Okay, so I'm just going to change that back. And then you have bottom of the page, which I think you saw over here. Let me compare with this. This is the document that I have been working on. So if I put the image to be B, I have bottom of the page and I've scaled it to 1, and that's my image name, right? So there's that. And yeah, and you have other options which you can explore depending on what your requirements are. And that's it. So one last thing before we conclude this, I'm going to remove the position figure. Now a little bit of geometry. You might have studied in your 10th grade that all the angles on a plane are measured anti-clockwise, right? So this is for the person who had their portrait image rotated by 90 degrees. So first, let's see the normal image, and then, oops, and then we'll see what difference does it make. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this image here so that we have some space to work with. All right, so I have my image at the center with a width of 4 centimeters and 6 centimeters, and you see that it's straight. The NX is sort of in a straight line. But then if I were to specify some angle, let's say 45 degrees, you see that the entire figure has been rotated anti-clockwise by exactly 45 degrees. So for the person who had their portrait image turned into a landscape, which was basically just rotation, what you can do is put a -90 angle. All right, so I think that should work out for you, and just let me know if it has worked out by unmuting.
Yeah, I'll just get that. Thanks.
So you can rotate. So yeah, like I said, the angles measured here are anti-clockwise, and you'll have to see what angle you want it to be. So if I was to specify it to be 180, then it's going to be flipped over. Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be flipped over by exactly 180 degrees and so on. So this was like a very brief introduction to inserting images. But you can always find more to do with images if you go over to the overleaf page, which talks about text width, the paper width, and so on. Those are of course all arbitrary and depending on the usage that you have, depending on the requirements that you have, you can do that. So here I'm just going to show you one last thing, which is inserting captions, which I almost forgot. And I'm going to remove the angle part of it because I want it to be upright. So you see by default, LaTeX assigns this figure a number, which is figure 1, and then it prints out whatever you have. In captions, you can also put in mathematical expressions, so that also works handy enough. All right, and if you can put anything that you do in mathematical stuff. So I can also put special characters here, like theta equal to sine alpha times x cubed, and it still works fine as long as you specify all of them to be inside math mode. So if I was to remove the dollar signs, it's not going to work. Right? But if I let's say I don't want the figure 1 to be there, I don't want any figure name to it, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a star to it, and that would be omitted. Oops. I think I'll have to use a package for this one. If I have to use a package, then you can ignore about that. Yeah, okay. So what I had to do here, this is something that I've forgotten, so sorry about that. So if I wanted the figure 1 to, vanish, if I didn't want it to be there, I had to put a star. But then I also had to import a special package called caption, which ensures that, that particular command makes sense to LaTeX. Otherwise, it's just going to print out a star like we just saw it did. You need not worry about using this package caption because that's not mandatory. But yes, so now this also would work the same. That our figure 1 is back because I removed the star out of it. So yeah, that's about it for including figures and so on. Any questions or any doubts so far?
Can you just show this LaTeX screen once again? Just the last command for caption. I missed that out.
Yeah, okay. So for inserting a caption after you've included your figure, after the include graphics command, all you say is, hey LaTeX, insert a caption. So you use this command called caption, and then open your curly brackets and then type in whatever you want to type. So I can type your nakshatra logo with math stuff. So if for math I have to get into math mode, so I use the dollar signs. This is inline math. I'm going to put it in the same lines. That's why it's just a single dollar sign on each side. And you can put in any expression you want. Log e power x equal to sine gamma. Take some time, and that it still works out the same. All right. This caption, however, doesn't work. I don't think it works outside. Logo big. Yeah, so the caption doesn't work outside your begin and end figure. So if I were to, put this same caption after I ended the figure, it's going to give me an error because this caption belongs inside. It is meant for a figure, so you have to put it with a figure. Otherwise, it's just absurd all of it. So that. Any other questions or doubts? Now, Ved, your hand is up. Is there something you'd like to ask?
Hello, excuse me. Also, one more thing. Use package caption is just the cap. Can you just show that part?
It's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not
okay. Because
compulsory per se.
It shows for me that that caption package doesn't exist. So I just want to know, like, if I made a mistake or.
Are you on?
Yeah, no, it doesn't exist. It's not built in. I think you have to install it like externally.
That's weird because, okay. I don't think so because if you've installed MikTeX correctly, it has all of these built in. So
I mean, I've tried, but it says it's unavailable. And I tried to install it from an external thing, but it's not working either. I don't know.
oh, okay. I've never faced that one before. That's weird. So while we're at that, can all of you open your command prompt, go over to the start menu, and head over to command prompt. Let's just check if everyone's MikTeX is working fine. This is something that I wanted to do yesterday, but then I forgot. And just go over to your command prompt, and you see that C users and so on. There, just type cd and desktop. And then you see that C users, your particular username / desktop, and then you have a blank screen next. Once you've gotten that, type in this exact same thing. I should probably enlarge this.
Oh, by the way, I just fixed it. I had to rewrite the code. I installed it externally and it's working now.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
explain?
Sorry?
Can you explain it again? Command prompt thing.
Okay, can one of the Windows users just share your screen so that I can tell it to you that way?
No, I know how to open it, but what did you do after it?
Okay, so change your directory to desktop. Okay, once you're there, yeah, once you're there, just someone has shared their screen.
Yeah, can you see my screen? I mean, or do you want me to like?
Yeah. So now you're at desktop.
Yeah.
So what you do next is you type in PDF LaTeX without spaces, PDF LaTeX space sample 2E without space. All right.
That's it.
And yeah, that's it. And hit enter. Now wait for it to run, and then yeah. So Ved, you're sharing your screen, right? Yeah. So you have a few updates remain pending on your
No,
Mac.
I'm Aditya, but okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So yeah, you have a few pending updates on your MikTeX, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, what you can do is head over to your desktop after you've run this command. All right.
Head over to you, or sorry, you broke up. What?
Go to your desktop. Go to your desktop, your home screen, or whatever you call
Yeah.
it. And then you see there's a PDF called sample 2E on top.
Yeah.
Open that. This is a way to check if your MikTeX is installed and working properly. This is
Okay.
like a sample run for your thing. So now that you've successfully gotten this 3-page document, that means your MikTeX is working, but then in your specific case, it requires updates. Okay, so update your
Okay.
MikTeX. All right, is there anyone who did not get this document?
How do you
Overleaf
update
ones,
MikTeX?
not worry.
How do you update MikTeX?
Okay, so go to start menu.
Okay.
And type in MikTeX. Yeah, MikTeX console. You have it right on top, right?
Yeah.
MikTeX console. Head over to the MikTeX console. And there, you just check for updates.
It's already running.
Is it though?
Is it because I have my TechMaker open or?
No. Shouldn't matter, but
Or
it's
is it the
fine.
command prompt?
You can do it later. I mean, it's not compulsory
Okay.
as of now. I just wanted to make sure that all of you have your MikTeX working fine. So, is there anyone who did not get that document, that PDF sample 2E on their desktop?
Okay, I've opened the MikTeX console. I think it was because
Yes.
of the command prompt.
Probably. So check for updates and then do your
Okay,
updates
yeah. Thank you.
if there is any. You can stop sharing.
What was the command? PDF LaTeX space?
I'll just put it on the chat box. So that, PDF LaTeX sample 2E. PDF LaTeX sample
It,
2E.
it says there are currently no updates available. Try again tomorrow. But it just said that I don't have.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just keep a track of that, alright? Because
Yeah.
sometimes on Ubuntu it's really easy for me to update all of that in a single command, but on Windows it's a little longer process.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
it's fine. It's fine. As long as you got the PDF, it's okay. Okay, so is there anyone who did not get the PDF sample 2E on their desktops? The overleaf people, you need not worry about this. You can just relax and play around with the
I'm
include
facing
graphics.
the same issue with the caption.
Sorry?
I'm facing the same issue with the caption. Like there is not package install, and even if I hit
Oh,
enter,
okay.
it is not working properly.
Okay.
The code is use package curly bracket caption, curly bracket close. That's all
Yep.
right.
Yep.
And then under the include graphics, we have to just mention backslash caption and whatever it
Mhm.
is. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you share your screen and show me that error once again so that I can
Yeah. Sure.
see if I can find a solution for it?
Wait a minute. Can you see?
One sec. It's loading up. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So this is my use package caption.
Use package caption. Okay.
This is my
Okay. Yeah. Right. So if you, like I said, if you want to use caption, it has to be inside figure.
okay.
Right. So your include graphics and caption has to be inside of figure. So what you do is before include graphics, go over to line 63 and type begin figure.
Type what?
Begin figure,
Okay.
backslash begin curly bracket figure.
Yeah.
All right. So and put that thing inside of that. Run it now.
Oh yeah.
There.
But I'm still getting that figure one, even though I've mentioned here use.
Yeah. So now you don't have to worry about that. Just come down and put a star after caption.
Oh yeah.
And make sure you put centering on top so that your image is in the center. There. Yeah. Backslash centering. CENTERING. And this will make sure that your image is also in the center.
Yeah. Thanks.
No problem. So the other person who said that their package, they got the error saying that the package was not installed. Maybe you can just try this and see if it works out. If you put it inside begin and end figure. So yeah, this was the primary thing that I wanted to do today. The secondary thing was doing images, but then seeing that we only have 5 minutes to 8, what do you guys suggest? Do you want to stay for a while longer and then get a taste of how to draw in LaTeX, or shall we conclude this session right here and right now? It's solely dependent on you guys.
We can stay for some time.
I can
No.
stay.
Okay, so can you just raise your hands if you're okay with another 15-20 minutes of class? Okay, wow, I'm impressed. 10 people. Awesome. All right then. So since it's 55, let's quickly get into this. You can lower your hands. Thank you very much. Now I should tell you that I am not well versed with this particular package because I started using it barely a month ago or 2 months ago. So I am not very good at using this package. So the best I can show you is basic figures. And then I'll show you a few figures that I've made by myself. And you can maybe try to reproduce them at your own convenience for practice. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen now. And for this, I'll also need a reference for myself. So I'm gonna keep that page open. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over to LaTeX demo. So this is a document that I've been preparing for you people, to give it to you after we're done with the entire session. And you'll get this today after we're done with the class. And I've also put in links so that you can directly head over and see the overleaf thing. Right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to use a special package called the TIX. Don't ask me what it stands for. I have no idea. Okay. See, for you that is not mandatory, so I'm just going to minimize that. Is the screen fine? I mean, is it readable? Is the code readable?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, fine. So I just want you to see what I'm typing. The rest is fine. I mean, the document on the left is not important for you as of now. Okay, so
What's the
I'm gonna
package?
start-
You said?
I'll get to it. One second. Let me just start a new page and a new section. And this is called the TIGZ package, TIKZ package. All right. So as the name suggests, this is a package that you'll have to import again. So you come on to the top, and then you say use package TIKZ, TIKZ. All right. Is everyone successful with the import? Use package TIKZ. Anyone facing issue with that? Shamant and Kushal, I see your hands are up. Is there something you'd like to ask?
No, that was for the previous.
Right, that's okay. That's okay. All right, fine. So let's quickly get to this. So text package is something that was introduced to me by one of my professors recently when I started off with my master's. And this is something that he uses to make his figures for our modules and so on, right? So I was interested by it because that's when I realized and learned that you can also draw images or pictures or figures in LaTeX itself. And you don't have to go to paint and then put a line in this line and then save that as an image and then import it. LaTeX provides you with that directly, and that's why I love this package. And the code
Even though I said new page, it's not taking me to a new page. What?
Are you on TechMaker or Oli?
Yes, TechMaker.
TechMaker? It's not taking you to a new page. Are you sure?
Nope. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, new page is just for me to make sure it doesn't.
I know, but like, what the hell?
Language.
Yeah.
I think you need to type in something after that to start the new
I
page.
put in the section too.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out later. That's not as important right now. Yeah, so let's get back to this. The text package helps you draw stuff in LaTeX, and you can LaTeX, and you can also use it further to plot figures, which will not be done here. The code for this, the code to draw figures is again very simple. It's sort of long, but then it's simple for you to understand as to what's exactly happening. All right, so the first we'll start off with typing a random sentence. We shall use this package to draw simple figures in LaTeX. All right, so let's see if this is working fine. Yes, it's working fine. No issues so far. So the first figure that we're going to do is just a pair of intersecting lines. You can already see the image on the left hand side. That's exactly what I'm going to try and reproduce here while explaining it to you how it's done. But in order to do this, you need to have a fair amount of experience with coordinates or graph papers. So if you've plotted using coordinates before, you have that 1, 1 and 2, 1 and so on. If you're fairly okay with that image in your head, then this becomes very easy for you to imagine and plot. All right. And why exactly is that will become clear as we start plotting this. A pair of intersecting lines is our first figure. So all of this you can just give me a moment, guys. 1 second, I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry about that. All right. So there are two ways you can do this, right? So any plotting or any drawing that you do using the text package is called a text picture. All right, fairly simple. You're using a text package to make a picture, hence text picture. All right. Now this text picture you can directly do it this way. Begin text picture. And of course, if you're beginning it, you also have to end it. And be careful of any typos. You do not want to make a mistake with your spellings. So yeah, you begin text picture and then you end text picture. And everything that is inside of this is what you are giving to LaTeX for it to draw this particular text picture. All right. So it's fairly simple. So let's just draw a simple line. You want to draw a simple line. So the code for that is as obvious as it seems. It's just \draw, and then you open square brackets, and then here is where you specify what type of a line do you want. All right. So I want let's say a black line, and I want it to be thick. Right. So black and thick line. Next, I specify the coordinates for it. Now, let's say I want it from, I want to represent the x-axis. All right, so I'm going to say -5, 0. That's the left end of the x-axis, all the way up to. So the double dash means from 50 to. Right, so you don't write TO2 or something. You just say 50 dash dash. Let's say I want it to be up to +5, 0. All right, it's fairly simple as that. So you're just telling LaTeX you begin a text picture, and the first command, the first instruction that you have is to draw a black thick line from -5, 0 up to 5 + 5, 0. That's about it. One important thing that you need to remember here is that you end every line of code with a semicolon. Right, so it's like how you do it in C++ or something where you have to end it with a semicolon. It's just that if you do not end it with a semicolon, it would not execute, draw the picture properly, or might give you an error. All right, so let's run this and let's see if I get a line. Do I get a line there? Yes, I have gotten a line right there. If you can see it. There's one thing, I don't know if you've noticed it already, or if you didn't, then here's this. This text picture is sort of similar to this big nakshatra image that we've put. It's just being included in there, but then it's not centered. It's not. It's left indented as if it's a regular paragraph and so on. So the hack around that is exactly what we did before. I'm going to cut this, begin figure. I'm going to tell LaTeX it's going to be right here. So H. And now I'm going to begin the text picture. All right, so what this does is your text entire drawing has been converted into a figure. So this is like, instead of inserting a plot or something, you can instead of inserting two lines, you can directly draw it here and tell LaTeX this is a figure that I've drawn. That's exactly what we've done here. So now let's run this and then let's see if there's any difference. There is some difference with the indentation, but it's not noticeable as much. But that's fine. Let's also keep it in the center. Yeah, it's in the center and there's not much of a difference, but that's okay. It's fine as long as we know what it means. I'm going to change the coordinates a bit now. I'm going to make it from -3 to 3 all the way up to 3, 3. Now, if you realize this is just a a diagonal line. The equation is y = x. It didn't work out. Okay. What's this? -3 to 3 up to 3, 3. Why did it not work out?
The y coordinates are same, no, so that's why.
Oh yeah, probably. No, wait. Yeah, it should be -3 to 3, right? Yeah, -3. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I make silly mistakes like that. Please do forgive me for that. So yeah, this is a straight y = x line, and it's fairly simple to draw. All you've done is tell LaTeX draw a black thick line from -3 to 3 up to 3, 3, and that's what it's exactly done. I can change the color of the line here. Let's say red, and we have a red line. I can say very thick, and it's going to be a thicker line than before. Or if I want a dashed line, I'm going to say dashed, and it's going to be a dashed line. And let's say I want an arrowhead on one side. Right? So what I'm going to do for that is fairly simple. How does an arrow look? It's a dash with a greater than symbol, and I do that. It's probably not noticeable, so I'm going to shift this to a thick line. You see there's a small arrowhead on top. There. It's a small arrowhead, but then you do have an arrowhead on top. So the direction of this arrowhead is exactly the way you read these coordinates. So it's the arrow is directed from -3 to 3 up to 3, 3. All right. And if I were to specify an arrow like this, then it's going to be the reverse. The way, I mean, it's exactly how you read vectors, right? It's like from this time it's from 3, 3 to -3, 3. And if I was to put on both sides,
How did you get that inclination?
it depends on your coordinates. You see my coordinates here from -3, -3. So that's your like X and Y values.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so in order for you to visualize this, let me just head over to a graphing calculator called Desmos. The science students must be very familiar with this one. Go to drop y equal to x. So this is exactly what we've plotted. All right. So I have just specified what this particular point is, -3, 3, and then I just specify what this ending point is, 3, 3, and then it just drops a line in between of that. That's all it's doing. All right. And any questions regarding this one? I'm going to revert this back to a black line. Let's draw another line opposite to this one. Another line. Draw a black thick line from this time. Let's say the opposite side. So it'll have to be 3, -3 dash dash and -2, 2 and a semicolon. Never forget the semicolon. And we have another intersecting line. Now you might argue that these are just any two arbitrary lines, and the origin of this entire page can be anywhere, of this entire text picture can be anywhere. All right. So in order to check where exactly it is, I'm gonna remove these for now. Okay, and we'll see where the origin is. All right. And for that, what we do is we're gonna start a node. This is called a node because it's like it's like a point basically. We're gonna draw a node at 0, 0 in black color, and yeah, and we're gonna say that this stands for a I don't know if I forgot the semicolon. I hope this works. Okay, so you see we have a O there, but then I don't have the demarcation of a point. So I'm just gonna draw a circle. I'm gonna draw exactly what's that? One sec. I keep forgetting this. So how did I get that point? Okay. Pardon me for this. LaTeX demo tech. Simple plotting. No. Yes, here. Okay. I opened Spotify by mistake. Oops. Okay, so what we've done here, this particular command, fill draw. I have to close this. And technical, right? So what fill draw basically means is you're drawing a particular figure, but then you're also filling it with, that color, black color, and you're filling it, and you're drawing a circle at 0, 0, and the radius of the circle is 2 points, 2 pt. Okay, and we'll run this. And you see that we have a point right now, but then the O is sort of overlapping. So I'm going to change the node point. I'm going to make it as 0, and this I'll make it as -0.1. Let's see how that looks. It's not much. So -0.2, not much. -0.3. Yeah. So you see that marks the origin of my entire figure. So let's come back to this again. Fill draw is what it's doing is it's making a particular figure. In this case, it's a circle of radius 2 points at 0, 0, and it's filling it with black color. All right. So if I were to change the color here, I would get a red dot. Exactly what you would think it to be. Or if I was to put green, you get a green dot. But for the sake of for it to look good, we'll just keep it as black dot. And we have something which we believe to be the origin, because we set it at 0, 0. But then if you remember the lines that we drew before, they were sort of down and they were bigger than this. So let's see if they actually do coincide at the origin. So I'm gonna draw a black thick line from -3, -3 up to 3, 3 semicolon. Then I'm going to draw another line which is going to be red this time, and a thick one all the way from minus let's see, from okay, -2, 2 to where is this, -2, 2 to 3, -3, let's say, and then a semicolon. Now you see they do actually pass through the origin, and I haven't done anything special for it for me. I mean, I haven't told LaTeX anything special about the origin. So this is why knowing your coordinates comes in a little handy. It sort of helps you visualize as to how your thing looks. So it's what you're basically doing is you have this graph sheet, but then everything is invisible. It's just that. All right, so you will have to visualize as to where your points are, -2, 2 and 2, 2. You'll have to see how it looks or draw a rough figure in your paper or something, and then that's the exact coordinates that you're given here. And that's like a very basic introduction to drawing figures in LaTeX. Any questions so far? Any doubts, any questions, anything that you want to ask? Okay. Since we've put this under the umbrella of a figure, you can also give this a caption. And since this is intersection, I'm going to call it as two intersecting lines. And there I have it. Yeah, why is it figure 2? Is because I already started a figure somewhere above here, right? And this caption wasn't start. So if I was to start the above figure, there's no figure 1 for this, so this becomes figure 1, and so on. All right. Any questions or anything that you guys want to ask about this? Or how do you guys feel knowing that you're able to plot or draw stuff in LaTeX where people thought you could just type stuff? If you
So I have one question. So how will draw the curve lines, like parabolic lines you have drawn in
Right.
your?
Okay. So let me just show you a very simple example for that, which is, if you can see the document, it's a simple parabola. It's not exactly a parabola, and I'll tell you why can you not get an exact parabola. Okay. So we're gonna begin a figure again, right here, and then it's gonna be in the center, and we will begin a text picture and end a text picture first. Put some space here. So I'm just going to copy this thing here and I'll explain what I've done later on. All right, so we have it here. Let's just delete this one. And okay, so I'll maximize this so that you have visibility. Let me run it. I think everything else is fine. Cannot parse text documentation. Okay, I'll probably not use this one, but I'll open open the original one where I can plot it. Okay, all the way down. Yeah, the text package, and yes, this is the code here. So let's just run it again and see that we get it. All right. So if you see on the right hand side, I do have you know a somewhat of a parabola, which is y equal to x squared. How do I get that? Is with this line of code here. All right. So I've highlighted it. I hope you can see it. What I had to do here is I had to tell LaTeX, to draw a red thick line, as obvious as it seems, from -2, 4, and then you see something called a dot dot controls here, and then I specify another coordinate -1, 1, and then a dot dot, and then I specify another coordinate 0, 0, and then again a dot dot controls, and so on and so forth. What this basically means, or at least as far as I have understood this to be, is what's happening here is it starts at -2, 4, and then it continues that, and then when you say controls, it says, I mean, it sort of assumes that it's some sort of a continuous uh, figure, or some sort of a cyclic stuff. So you will have to make sure that whatever you're drawing passes through this particular point. That's how I have understood controls to be. All right, so that's what's happening. So me specifying start point to be -2, 4 and end point to be 2, 4, I would just get a line, right? I mean, if I didn't have any of this stuff in between, and if I just put a dash dash, I would just get a simple line. I believe it's still yeah, I still get a simple line. It's just -2, 4 to 2, 4. That's just a simple line, as you would expect it to be. But then the fact that I've put all these extra controls and stuff ensures that that LaTeX, whenever it is drawing this particular thing, follows exact coordinates like these. All right, so I had to know what the curve had to be. So in this case, I knew that the curve had to be y equal to x squared. So I had to specify my points like that. So if I'm starting at -2, the y coordinate is 4, because -2 squared is 4. And then I come down to -1, -1 squared is 1. And then it has to pass through the origin. So 0 and 0 squared is still 0. And then it has to pass through 1. And the y coordinate for that is 1 squared, which is equal to 1. And then end it at 2, and 2 squared is 4. So that's how I specified my coordinates to be. And we'll run it. And there you go. So, and you also see that there's an alternate use of controls here. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But yeah, it sort of is that way. And I'll have to read up more on that in order for me to help you understand it better. But this is as far as I have understood it to be. So if I were to put more points here, then this would look less like a V shape and more like a parabola. All right, and this is exactly why plotting in LaTeX also comes in handy, which unfortunately we will not be able to do here. But then I'll give you this document so you can go through it later on. But yeah, so you see it's some sort of a V-shaped more rather than a parabola. But you know that a parabola is a smoother curve than this. And that smoothness is determined by the number of coordinates you give here. And the more coordinates you give, the more it's going to look like a parabola. So yeah, that's about it. And as for the other things in this figure, which is the x-axis and the y-axis, it's exactly what I told you before. I've just drawn a random line with an arrowhead, a black thick line from -3 to 3. That gives me x. And I've put a node at a particular point 3.2, 0, saying it's in black color, and x. So that gives me the x here that you see. And similarly for y, specifying the coordinates. And then there's this curve, the parabola, which I took so long to explain. And then I put another node near the origin. So that's the O that you see over there. And I wanted to label this particular parabola. So I specify another node at some random coordinate 3, 4 in red color. And then I said it's the parabola y equal to x squared. And since I have put all of this text picture under the umbrella of a figure, I can also use a caption and say this is a parabola y equal to x squared. And that gives us the caption with the math equation in between. And I've put in the link for there for the text package over there, so you can refer to that later on. So yes, that concludes this part of it. And So the next thing, which unfortunately I will not be able to cover, is that you can use another package called PGF plots, and you can directly plot your curves in LaTeX. So instead of what you do on Python or on Maxima, where you give an equations and then tell it to plot this particular thing, LaTeX does that for you. So your LaTeX also acts somewhat like Python without. So like matplotlib over there, you have PGF plots over here. Now, I haven't given the entire code for this, but then you can use it to get a proper parabola, which we weren't able to get by just drawing it. This is drawing and this is plotting, and you can clearly see the difference. Another advantage is that you can also use LaTeX to render 3D plots. So this is a figure called a paraboloid, the equation of which is z equal to x squared plus y squared. And you can tell LaTeX to plot 3D figures, which I think is amazing. So the dependency on other programming languages is sort of reduced. I wouldn't say completely neglected, but it's reduced to a great extent. You don't have to go to Python separately and just write a code to plot sin x and then include graphics, the plot of sin x. You can tell LaTeX to directly plot a sine curve and you get it. So I'm just going to show that to you. I'm not sure sin x was success. I was successful in plotting sin x, so I'm going to show you the natural log of x, and you see that it does come in handy. So that red curve over there is the the natural log of x, and I can also put log base 10. I don't think that works. Oh yeah, so that probably doesn't work. Never mind. So I hope you saw this. And if I was to do this, I think it still works out. I won't be getting into the codes of all of this because it's a little bit complicated and it requires more time and so on. But you're free to explore this, which is why I have put in the link for the same PGF plots package, and you will have access to this after the session by the end of the day. So I will conclude my session now. I'm sorry I have taken way too longer than I told I would, but thank you for your patience. And this was my last session. From tomorrow, you're going to have a new mentor who will be talking about beamers and probably also about bibliography if time permits. So yes, thank you so much for joining in. And
Thank you. It was really a nice session, and we learned so much from you.
thanks a lot. So Sitara, I am done with today's stuff. So if there's anything that you want to tell them.
Yeah, I just want to thank you. I think my audio is a bit bad, but I want to thank you because you've designed the content extremely well, and I'm sure everyone would agree that it was very easy to follow, and also quickly grasp something that would have taken them much longer if they were to figure it out all on their own. So thanks a lot. We'll definitely have Vikrant back for a couple of Q&A sessions and perhaps a panel discussion at the end of the weekend. Nonetheless, is Jishnu here? I think he's not joined. But from tomorrow, we will be having a couple of sessions from Jishnu Das, who is one of our other mentors. And you can expect to learn a little bit more about citations and bibliography, as well as a little on how to read your own, how to do your literature survey a little bit more effectively. He has a master's in astrophysics, so people who specifically have an interest in astronomy or astrophysics, you can ask him, more pertinent questions. I think we will also learn about how to add code inside our paper. Although that was not mentioned in the program outline, that is also something we want to address. So if you're someone who works on something like computational astronomy or physics, then it's going to be important sometimes to showcase your program or algorithm. So we might address that as well. Other than this, immediate update is tomorrow at 4:45 p.m. evening. We will have a crash course on how to use Git or GitHub. So the GitHub crash course begins once again at 4:45. We will try to keep it within 45 minutes or 1 hour at maximum. Please join from your laptop. We will give you a little bit of installation, I guess, links if required. It's not much though. I'm guessing all of you are on Windows, so the session will be much, much shorter. And don't miss it. This is something that is crucial for you to be able to collaborate with others because you're getting ahead with your review paper. So please try to make it. We have kept it like in the middle time. It's not too early, not too late. So hopefully people can make it. Yeah, that's it. And the normal session will start at 7:10 or 7:15 as usual.
And we'll join for GitHub session at this link only.
GitHub session will mostly happen on Discord itself because one thing is we want to keep it short. We also want to make it easier for people to just join and get a glimpse of what's going on. So I think it'll be easier to hold it within Discord. So we'll have it, I think, on either group study voice channel, something like that. Yeah, we will discuss this a little bit more if I hope people are comfortable with Discord. Okay, and this 7 o'clock session will anyway happen on Microsoft Teams. Any updates from the group leaders, one by one, theory people? I think Sagar, right, for theory? Are you here? Okay, he must have joined another meeting. Today is a very busy day in Nakshatra. We have like 2-3 meetings going on. Okay, anybody else from the gravitational wave theory group? Can you give me a quick update?
I'm Sagar.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
You called my name, no?
Yeah. I was just asking any updates. What is the status so far? Because
Status
it's been a busy. I don't know exactly what's going on. Yeah.
Not many people have done actual research. From today, they will be starting since we got the paper outline correctly. So according to paper, they'll start their research now.
What about topic allocation? Do you need help with that? Or are you guys done? Like, do you know who's doing what?
I discussed about with 9 to 8 students, and they all agreed with the present topics. Even you can see the topics in the astrophysics theory channel.
On astrophysics theory channel. Okay.
Yeah, they have a really well structured document so far.
Yes, I did look at that. That was really nice. Even the paper outline itself has come out well. I think it's fairly detailed. I will come back to you tomorrow about whether the length of the paper might be too much, but we should look at it as more of a research article, so it's fine.
According to my understanding, it will come for about 20 pages max, not more than 20.
Yeah, that's okay, I think.
That's fine, but make sure that even if you do run into so many pages, whatever you wanted to convey has been conveyed in the best way possible, right? So what you want to do is you want to optimize your content as much as you can, right? So just that's one thing that a person of science has to look at, or any person who's writing anything. That's one thing you want to do. You know, they say ki, a picture has 1,000 words, but then a statement can still have a few words and then still explain a lot, right? So you want to focus on that as well.
I have one question. Like in computation physics, we were discussing today. So actually, since there are various people doing on different topics, so we are given a section. But in section, we can't have abstract and all everything, na? Because for a review paper, there should be one abstract and then sections and then conclusion. I suppose it should be like that. But since we are doing only a section and a totally different topic, how will we I don't understand how will we include in that single paper so many topics.
So
with computational physics, guys, I will come back. Okay, Abhishek has written working on computer simulation of n-body system in a model and predicting the dynamics of a solar system. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, see, so the thing with computational physics, right, whatever it is that you're doing, the entire paper has to be more or less related. That's the catch. All right, so it can't be like one section is on n-body systems, and the other one is on a completely different, unrelated topic. That's the whole point of a
But
review
some
paper
people are
is that.
doing on biology in the same thing. So how will we relate the things?
No, no, no. We will discuss. I think I spoke to the biology girl. Since there's only one girl, she has decided to go with CRISPR. So she's going to write her own paper. I'll be announcing on the server, so I'll find her like a buddy group, probably outside the workshop participants. So that's okay. I'll speak to the computational guys soon. Abhishek, if you're here, please note it. The paper can be just about computational astronomy or astrophysics because majority of the participants are interested in that. So it would kind of be a bit, tangential with biology at the moment. So, on such a short notice, basically. I think N-body is fine. Um, if you find a slightly easier topic, that's also okay. Let's decide by tomorrow. I'll go through the paper. Did you decide N-body by reading some particular paper? If yes, please attach the link.
We will be doing so. Actually, we decided that we will work on that topic. So all of us will be today. We will be putting up the links, and then from there we will select few papers from where we will do the review for the selected papers.
Okay, okay. This is a good enough topic for review. Okay. If you were to write your own research paper, that's slightly different. Simply because in-body simulation requires a lot of mathematical prerequisite. But as a review paper, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
So just stick with it, and you can start using the Google Doc for putting in all your review paper links. Yeah, go ahead with it. Don't worry, biology is not there in your paper. Like a single review paper will definitely be about a single topic.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think what is her name? Riti, right? If Riti is here, your project guide has appeared on the Discord server. He's doing his master. He has a degree in economics literature major, so you can just take help from him in case you're here. Okay. That's it for updates. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, some are telling me that gravitational astronomy, they're not getting correct research paper because any research paper they open, lot of math, they're not able to understand it seems.
Yeah. So
So
first 2 days, let them read PDFs or articles that are available, probably in the form of other research articles, not necessarily published papers. There'll be a lot of universities.
To see YouTube videos because through explanation it will be very easy to understand. So I said them to watch many YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah. Put the reference links. First 2 days, there's no problem. That's why we have given 1 full week's time after the workshop for you to submit or even, finish the paper. And actually, if you decide on the content even in the last 3-4 days, that's enough. So till then, it has to be studying. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Learn about gravitational waves conceptually, get used to it. And then when it comes to reading a paper and you don't understand the math, just look at what they are trying to convey. Like look at the structure of the paper. Read the abstract. What is the conclusion they come to? Do you understand the problem that they are trying to solve? Right? If you're usually able to make a flow chart of problem, approach, methodology, result in a given paper that you're reading, then at least you understand the structure of it. You can put it into your own words, even if you don't understand all the equations. So, but we'll have a more detailed meeting on Friday then. Till then, let them watch some videos and learn. Okay. Anybody from experimental group? Aditya, is this you who texted me about, I don't know, orbits and stuff? Who's there from the experimental group here?
Yeah, I'm from experimental.
Okay, Ajay. Yeah, what is the update so far with experiment? Do you have an separate outline?
Yeah, but that's not completely confirmed yet. So we are trying to update that and basically we are a bit confused to selection of topics among us.
Okay.
So like in operation there are multiple topics, optics, lasers and so on. So people are a bit confused what to choose and what to work on. But basically I think there is a catch, like we need to collaborate much than others in experimental. I think that is the main point.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't have to cover like, 28 topics, like, because I'm sure the LIGO has that many modules. But
Hmm.
you can say this paper is focused on the optics, or this paper is focused on um, applied precision engineering and the results of it, or
Yeah,
this
yeah,
paper is focused on signal analysis. You can focus into two at best, two domains, and then split the group into two parts.
yeah. That's what I
Uh,
was telling to Aditya. So we will sort out that.
okay. So can you just tell them, put this on the Discord channel, till Friday. Tell them that they're free to watch lectures about LIGO, or read more about its design, its construction, the signal analysis of gravitational waves, all of that stuff, till they understand the broad overview of what LIGO is. Can you just tell them that?
Yeah, yeah.
And they don't have to decide till Friday. Friday, I'll come. I'll have a more detailed meeting with you guys. Then we'll do topic education. Okay.
Okay.
But
One more
but by
point
then
for,
they should. Sorry.
yeah, I will. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to tell one more point. Those who are facing for obtaining documents for LIGO, they can check out the LIGO Document Center, DCC, LIGO DCC. That is pretty good resource to have articles and papers.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think that'll be helpful. So hopefully by Friday they give us like a lot more information people should have about what LIGO is and the modules involved. Okay. Um, so guys, so tomorrow, please don't forget. I just want to make a point that GitHub workshop is something we usually have separately. It's pretty detailed. It's a very valuable aspect or skill to learn. So don't miss it. We are just offering it along with this workshop. So please make use of this and show up at 4:45 p.m. Okay, that's it from my side. Once again, Vikrant, great job. Thank you so much. We would
Thank
love
you
to
for
have you
being so
back here
patient.
again for more lectures.
Yeah, sure. And I'll always be available. So if you guys need any help with, structuring your paper or something, I am doing physics, so I think I can help out a little bit here and there. So yeah, feel free to reach out. I'll be on Discord. And thank you all for coming and attending. I hope
Yeah,
you've learned something.
I think all of you have been really consistent throughout. So thanks for that. Okay, we'll see you then. Just a quick thing for those interested. In about 5 to 6 minutes, we are going to have a discussion on Discord itself, and this is for people who are interested in Nakshatra, what we are planning for the future, as well as leadership roles or positions within the community. So if you have a little bit of time, like 2-3 hours per week on your hands, and you want to do something productive with it, we can basically give you opportunities either to intern with us or to write a concept paper or become a content developer and so on. So just get in touch with me on the discussion that will start on Discord.
Uh, I wanted to ask the same thing. Is it alright if we come like 5-10 minutes late?
Yeah. You can join by even 9. I'm going to be online till 10 o'clock today. So basically, anytime you come, I can have a chat. I just want to get to know everyone in the community. So you can join whenever you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night, guys. Bye.
Good night. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.
Vikrant, I had one doubt.
Yep. Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
How do we put arrows on the both ends of line?
Okay. Let me just share my screen so that you can see it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So we'll come back up here. Okay, so this is like a single-sided arrow, right? The double-sided arrow is just you put another one on the other side of it.
Okay.